just hit the record button, folks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I got something on my screen that says this meeting is being recorded by the host or a participant, and I have to push a button that says, got it.
Oh, okay. Do that.
So there it went. I pushed the button. I got it.
Okay. We should be in good shape then.
Yeah, let's go.
Welcome once again to Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter over here and Larned Justin. So we've got, once again, quite a few comics to talk about.
More than we bargained for.
Yeah. In fact, more than we're going to be able to show you.
Yeah. And
yeah. So we got a bunch. So let's start with something really unusual. And it's this little comic called Cthulhu Saves. Now, if you're familiar with these kind of things, you may know about chick tracts. Chick tracts are
religious tracts.
Religious tracts that are in a comic book form.
Yeah.
And I found them in restaurants and all kinds of places.
You used to find them everywhere. I used to find them in telephone booths and stuff. Back when they had telephone booths.
Yeah. And so this is by Donn Davis, and he decided to do a little satire, which is what this is. It's a satire of the chick tracts, and it's really well done. It's great artwork, really neat artwork.
There's some gross stuff in it somewhere. Ooh, look at that panel. That's gross, man.
Some funny lines in here. And I don't think he's trying to be malicious or anything like that. I think he's just having some fun.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's a satire on a religious tract. It looks like a religious tract.
It's a satire of a way to produce a religious tract. You know what I mean? He's not making fun of the religion. He's making fun of the way it's done.
Right.
And it is funny.
A great Cthulhu, the monster god who lives, who is sleeping beneath the ocean, who's one day is going to awaken and lead the elder gods to take over the entire planet.
So it's a good idea to join the cult. Apparently.
Yeah, you've got to join the cult, or else you'll die.
But you know what?
Anyway, but what the heck?
The other thing is that Cthulhu is actually an H.P. Lovecraft character.
That's right.
There's a whole book about Cthulhu. So Lovecraft, I must admit I'm not familiar with it because I've never read H.P. Lovecraft, but I think I'm going to. And the reason is our next comic, which is by Adam Rodriguez.
Yeah, before you get in it, I just do want to say that I did read Cthulhu, and it's called the Cthulhu Mythos, the entire world that H.P. Lovecraft, I did read Lovecraft. The entire world that he created is a fantastic world with monster creatures. It's not just Cthulhu, but there's other gods who come to Earth at certain times, Yog Sothoth and other gods. You go back through the history, there's not been a really lot of great Cthulhu mythos movies that have made, but some of them are quite interesting. And Lovecraft was way before his time. He was like Edgar Allan Poe, only he went beyond Poe.
Right.
Not just mystery and horror, but monsters and strange things, otherworldly dimensions. I mean, just really, he was out there, and he influenced a lot of people.
That's why I was gonna bring up our next comic, which is Strange Tidings #1 by Adam Rodriguez. And the reason I wanted to bring that up at the same time we looked at Cthulhu is because
the thing about Adam Rodriguez, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we got all these comics from Adam Rodriguez.
We got 11 comics. knows we're not going to review every
lot
one.
of them. We can't.
We did get 11. Yeah.
So.
And you'll see
Go ahead,
them. You'll see them when I edit the video, because I've already filmed the 11 on the floor. So it's going to be in the edited version of this. But anyway,
and I
what
read
I
every single one of them. I read every
Adam is
single one of
influenced
these.
by H.P. Lovecraft also.
Definitely.
And one of his stories is the Mountains of Madness.
Mhm.
And a lot of what's in this first issue of Strange Tidings is based on H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Now, Adam has been doing, from what I understand, he's been an artist for 30 years, but he recently started comics. Now, these are very loose, very sketchy. Santa Claus is here in this H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, he's got
story.
he delves into several realms, not just Santa Claus, but also.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. But what you have to understand is
Santa
he
Claus
hasn't
and
been
Cthulhu.
doing it very long.
Mhm.
So his first works are extremely sketchy, you know, and the stories are extremely strange, but they're fun. And then when you look a little farther in, if you got number 1 of Day of the Anarch, this is a newer comic than Strange Tidings. And you can see that he's tightened up.
Right, his artwork has come along.
Yeah, his artwork has tightened up quite a bit.
In a very short time.
Yeah.
In a very short time.
Well, I think
he's getting better.
I don't know. I know this is 2022, but I don't know when Strange Tidings was done. Maybe a year before or two.
But look at it's crazy. He's got so much stuff from so many different dimensions.
Right.
I mean, because he's got like the Frankenstein monster here on this one. This is Strange Tidings number what? What is that?
Well, the one I'm looking at is number 1. Oh, that's number 3.
Merlin, the magician.
Yeah.
And Sir Lancelot appears in the story, but as sort of a ghoul.
Yeah.
And again, Santa Claus is a great hero, and he just mixes all this stuff up.
And there's a number of, this is number 1 of Day of the Anarch. There's about 3 more of those. Then he has another one called Tales to Terrify.
Oh, that one's really scary.
Tales to Terrify. And once again, strange creatures.
Yep.
But he sent us 11 books. So, I mean, that was pretty great. And the other thing I wanted to mention about him is you need to get the book and then go to his website. It is wild. I mean, he's an artist, so he's got all kinds of paintings on the website. He's got videos that they've done on the website. He's got all kinds of things. He sells all kinds of merchandise you can buy. So he's really an entrepreneur and knows how to get himself noticed.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, look at this one. Pinocchio and Mr. Hyde.
There's only one of those. We only got one. I think got there's Pinocchio only one issue so far.
Pinocchio, who's been turned into a boy. If you remember the end of Pinocchio, Pinocchio was a real boy. But at the beginning of this one, this real boy walks into his home and he finds Geppetto stabbed to death.
Deader than a doornail. Yeah.
That's not funny, right? But it leads to such a, because after that, he meets Mr. Hyde. You see what I mean? He's got so much history, so many mythologies. Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
My name is Hyde. Edward Hyde. And he mixes all.
Now wait a minute. If you look at the guy on the left in the middle panel there.
This guy?
That is Adam Rodriguez.
Oh, that's him?
That's him.
How do you know that? Because you looked at his website?
I saw it. I saw what he looked like on his webpage.
Oh, okay.
He made himself up with the dark around the eyes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinocchio eventually Pinocchio becomes a puppet again.
Yeah.
But he's just trying to survive like everybody in these harrowing, hair-raising comics that Adam Rodriguez has constructed. I mean, this is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Again, he's improving all the time. By the end of this story, I will reveal the ending because it's pretty simple. But right here, Edward Hyde and Pinocchio have become great pals. So he's good friends with Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Jekyll appears somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I don't know where Mr. Jekyll ever got in, but
what a wild ride.
Anyway, well, I'm going to put all his information down in the description, his address, his webpage, all that kind of stuff. So check it out. You'll have some fun.
Yeah. What a world this guy, what a world Adam has created.
Yeah.
All these comics tied together.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing. It's a lot of work too. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
All right, what do you got next?
I like these. This is a couple that they're very simple, and DC.
I'll bet you're going to say Hero Comics.
Yeah, DC might sue over these, but
yeah, these are your basic Hero Comics.
But
he sent number 1 and number 5,
right,
to show kind of the progress of the story, right?
Right. But anyway, it's a tribute to the Superman and the early DC comics from the late 1930s, early 1940s. It looks
like the hero, the superhero works for a newspaper. He works for the Daily Star.
Right.
And he's
the
a
Daily
reporter.
Star, and that's the same that originally in Superman it was the Daily Star, wasn't it?
Planet.
Before it was the Daily Planet. I think it was the Daily Star. Check that out. Check out. Look at you. It might. Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I don't know that. I didn't know that. All I knew was
but it wasn't the Daily Planet in the beginning. So, but here he is, Action Man.
Action Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a typical. In looking for his stories for the newspaper, he runs into, criminals and has to deal with them. So,
yeah,
and that's pretty neat. And that's by Andy Kaylor.
Andy Kaylor.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have his information down below also, so you can follow the adventures of Action Man.
Yeah, Action Man.
Because we only have 1 and 5, so there's other issues.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, he comes across a character resembling the Flash.
Aha. Yeah.
The original Flash, not the Barry Allen Flash. And what is he called? I read this 2 nights ago, so I'm forgetting. But he's got a character that resembles the original Flash with the helmet and everything.
He also has instructions in here on how to draw a superhero. Right there.
There you go.
Right there. So you can draw your own superheroes.
As simple as it gets, but it makes sense. One thing leads to another and another.
Mm-hmm.
Until you have a fully delineated character portrayal.
Now, it may take you a little while to get in this area to do something like this, but you got to start over here. I can't get my fingers in the right place. You start here, you wind up here when you practice enough.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Pictures of this flashlight characters. Oh, here it is. And this was in issue number 1. He gave a preview, and it is Captain Speed.
Captain Speed, who looks a lot like the Flash, yes.
The original Flash, Jay Garrick, the Justice Society Flash. There he is, Captain Speed, with no apologies whatsoever to DC or anybody else. As long as this is in the small press realm, it's going to be no problem. If he was to take it out,
And for $1.50, it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So
I really enjoyed these, and they do
Yeah.
have a nostalgic feel that reminds you of the early the DC.
yeah, it sure does.
They
Yeah,
really do.
he accomplished that. Yep. Okay, what do you got next here?
There's all kinds of stuff. Let's see what we got over here. Way over here. Strange Times.
Oh,
Got
strange.
this
time.
one? Oh, the Patriot. You had the Patriot. This is
Yeah, the
the same
Patriot.
guy. Tom Fellrath publishes both.
Yeah. So we have them
And-
both. We can look at whichever one you want to first. That one.
Strange Times is here.
Strange.
Tom,
Time.
Tom just, Tom was like in small press retirement for a long time. I got to be honest, I kind of helped lure him out of retirement, didn't I, Tom? Yeah.
Well,
and he's back in the UFO.
and good old, if you know Alan Groening, he does the artwork.
Yeah, look at that.
Tom.
And his stuff.
That's a
is
splash
always,
page right in the beginning that Alan did.
And
I
he's
actually
always.
met Alan Groening at the San Diego Con a number of years ago.
And
And
there he is.
here's-
There's some more stuff by him.
Yeah, here's
but,
the interior.
Alan Groening. and,
Alan's been doing comics a long time.
So here, and I read this, like I say, 2 nights ago. I've been working a lot. It's hard to find time just to read comics.
Yeah.
One
But
good thing.
That's your job, is to read comics.
It is. It's my job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action here. Oh, this is the one where the guy's always running and running and
Oh,
running.
he's running all. Yeah.
Yeah, and he never
You're
stops
wore
running.
out by the time you finish reading this, because this guy runs through the entire story.
He's captured in like a time loop or something. And
Yeah.
He just keeps running, and
Mhm.
it like never is. It's like a Twilight Zone episode.
Oh, it'll never end, because look at here. He winds up, if I can get them, in a maze at the end.
In a maze,
He's in a big maze, so he's still running.
stuck in a maze.
Yeah.
Story and script. Story by Tom Fellrath. Art and lettering by Alan Groening. And this
Mhm.
is this just boggles your mind. Strange times indeed.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Look at that cover. Is that Alan Who did that cover?
I don't know, unless it says in here. Maybe I didn't catch it.
He did the cover.
Don't know if
Groening
Alan did that.
cover. It's in a slightly different style.
Yeah, I don't know if Alan did that cover or not. It might say here, but I don't see it.
It does say it. It's right on the inside cover. Cover and pinup artwork, Alan Groening.
Oh, it does say right here. Yeah, looking right at it.
Right there.
So he did do that cover.
So yeah. And
Pretty
he's
cool.
such a distinctive artist. Always enjoy his stuff. It's always really gritty. And this
Yeah.
time it's kind of gritty and cartoony at the same time.
Yeah.
So, got this guy. Take that, zap, zap. So, he can be funny and cartoony, and he can be gritty and dark at the same time. Great artist.
Yeah.
One we really appreciate.
Well, the other one that Alan Sissom sent us
Mhm.
was The Patriot. Now, you heard the saying, you can't tell a book by its cover, right? Well, these guys might look like superheroes to you on the cover. And even when you look inside, you will notice that the hero has a cape and everything, except he's
Yeah.
not a superhero.
So he's your
At
take
all.
on Captain America, but kind of gone wrong somewhere along
But
the line.
he has no superpowers of any kind.
Mhm.
And he is recruited by the CIA, him and his partner, a 15-year-old kid. And
Right.
they basically go to all the hot spots in the world. I mean, if this had been done after, this was done a little while back, but they would go to the Ukraine. If,
Yeah, I mean, look, here they are. They're in Honduras,
they're in Honduras.
and what is that? 1985.
Yeah.
Beautiful artwork. Oh yeah, Tony Lorenz.
Tony
Outdid
Lorenz.
himself. Tony outdid himself on the artwork for this one. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the screens and everything are great, but even without that, just a beautiful perspective screen there. And
Just
a
as an
full-page
aside,
panel.
I don't know if I didn't speak to him. I corresponded with Tony Lorenz. He mentioned he would like to be on our show.
And he should be.
We'll contact him, and he will be on the show in the near future. I don't know if it'll be the next one. It might be. But
Tony, if you're up for an interview, we'd like to interview you.
Well, he's already said, right? He's already said he would.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tony's an old pal of mine. He's done a lot of work for me as well.
Anyway,
so there's a whole lot of history
he
involved.
Does. We can talk about Tony when he's on the show. But anyway, he did part in this book, and Alan Sissom wrote the story, and it's a fairly complicated story. You better pay attention. You know, there's a lot of flashbacks in this. It moves back and forth, and it'll keep your attention. And it's about, let me see, I think it's about 30 pages. It's 30 pages, which is a great, for a comic book, it's perfect. And it's, I don't see the price, but
$4.
$4. And
right there.
Yeah, full color cover and back
probably more
cover.
if you order online, but
and and then it's all grayscale inside, not just black and white. It's grayscaled.
Yeah, and the character here, he describes, he was kind of like the sidekick, like the Bucky to the Patriot. And at one point, he had to make a decision, and he had to kill someone, and it really affected him deeply. He was deeply affected, and it becomes a grim and kind of sad story by the end.
Yeah. And like I say, it starts out, it's a flashback, so it starts out different than you would think. I don't want to give too much away. I'm trying not to give it away, but
it's not a happy story, but it's
it's not. But it's
story.
Very interesting.
Very interesting,
and the artwork once again is great. So well worth it.
Some of Tony Lorenz's finest work, and look at that cover by Larry Johnson. That cover is by Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Larry Johnson. It is
gorgeous in full color.
Yeah.
Wow, what a very golden ages.
Don't be fooled. These guys are not superheroes. So next we've got Collector's Link Fanzine.
Right. If you open that cover up, it's a full page spread. Yeah. We got a big
wraparound cover by John Lambert. And Brian Canini has a story right in the front here. Right there. Yeah. And this is, let me see here. I'm going to get the page count for you.
A long
50
book.
Pages. 50 pages.
Digest size.
And Larry Johnson, who did the cover of The Patriot, has a 17-page story right in the beginning of this book. It's Larry Johnson.
Uncle Lou's Clubhouse, featuring his long-running character, Lou Brown.
Lou Brown, yep.
I guess this is an original. I'm not sure if this has been published before. It reminds me.
1993.
It was published before.
1993.
Okay, I knew I'd seen it before. But wow, that's a fascinating story.
No, 1992. I correct myself. It was 1992. Yeah.
But well deserving of reprint. There's a lot of craziness happening here. There's a program called Uncle Lou's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Right? Uncle Lou's Clubhouse. And this character, Uncle Lou, happens to be a being from another dimension. But he looks exactly like Lou Brown.
Lou Brown.
One of Larry's
Lou Brown's going, wait a minute. that guy's me.
and the people who run that network, these programs are coming to them from another world, and they don't even know it. They don't know where they're coming from, but they want to promote the program because it's really popular among children,
little kids. Yeah.
And once they find out this guy Lou Brown looks like the character in the story, they enlist him to do some publicity.
Yeah, he has to make some personal appearances, and he's not an actor or anything like that. So, but he does it. So,
and which ultimately doesn't make the people in the other dimension very happy. At one point, we have Lou Brown here, tied up, meeting the alien guy who looks exactly like him. So,
yeah.
Things don't go exactly as well as planned for anybody. Not these otherworldly beings, not for Lou Brown, and
now,
funny story.
Also, Alan Sissom himself has a story in here from 1976. I don't know how old he was in 1976, but here's his little story about a character called Orp.
The Orp.
Orp.
Did it when he was in junior high school, it says.
Yeah.
And looks like this is reproduced from the pencils.
I think maybe it was never inked. Maybe it's just pencil.
Yeah, it looks
hard to tell.
Like the pencils, yeah.
I think it's pencil. But yeah, and it's a 3 or 4 page story in here.
Little fur ball of a guy with big eyes and feet. The Orp.
The Orp.
Yeah, but it kind of shows you this. When was this done? Like back
76
in the 70s, and Alan was already talented. But he was already had a distinctive, cartoony style, and this is some wild and zany stuff. Even if my world decide to conquer Earth, he says, I doubt that there would be room for my people. Yeah, you have to read, and it's actually a continued story, so I don't know if it went on from there or what happened. But if not, Alan, you ought to revive this character because I want to know what happens next.
And also another thing in here is an interview with John Lambert.
John Lambert, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that did the wraparound cover.
Jim Maine.
Yeah, Jim Maine interviews him. Yeah, so that's interesting reading.
Jim has been doing some interviews lately, and Jim's guy has been around since way back, and maybe we ought to interview him too. Jim, you up for that? We should talk to you sometime as well. Jim even did he interview me? Somebody interviewed me. Alan Freeman interviewed me. I know that much, and I interviewed Alan. Never mind, that's history. But Jim deserves to be interviewed. Okay, we shared a room in the Chicago Comic Convention way back in 1986 or 87. It was like us and I don't know, 12 other guys, a whole bunch of us guys at this convention, and we had a blast.
Yeah, I met Jim at Space in Columbus, Ohio, one year, and so I have met him. But yeah, he'd be a great interview. He does so many books that he could talk forever on them.
Yeah. Another one of the most prolific people, like Larry Johnson. Only Jim's not an artist. He's a publisher, and he publishes like crazy. And he's done a lot of great stuff in the science fiction realm, the comics realm, and, collectibles and collectors. He's into that. And so
one more thing in this book is the Xenology report that you might be interested in.
I saw that one.
It's got, reviews of different zines and things like that. So a lot in this book, like I said, 50 pages. So, and the price on this is $6 from Alan Sissom, and his information will be in the description. Down below me in the description.
And a letter column in the back.
And a letter column. Yeah.
There's
so
Larry
a little bit of everything.
And others. Larry Tish. Tish has a few scenes in here too, I think, somewhere. If not in here, then it was in one of the other ones. But I know I saw some work by Larry Tisch just recently in one of the books. It might not be in this one. But oh yeah, it's in this one. It's in this one. Here he is.
Yeah.
With that, that distinct stick figures, but is a Iron Man. So Spider-Man and Batman and just zany stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in there too somewhere. I know I saw him somewhere. So yeah, that's the just about everything we have at this point.
That's what we have for this week. But you can always send us stuff. Unfortunately, you have to send Steve one and me one. So, but we have been getting about 100 views per video, and I think that's pretty good.
They're
for
increasing
a niche, which is what small press is. So, people are looking at that and saying, I didn't know Adam Rodriguez, and he saw us on our videos and said, oh, I'll send those guys some books. So
yeah, so it's people are getting more and more interested in having their zines reviewed, and we're interested in seeing what you have to publish, and promoting small press. It's a pleasure, it's an honor, and we're glad to see so many creative people, younger creative people as well, coming up. Because I'm an old geezer. I've been around for a long time doing this stuff. But I will mention I do have a new one. You didn't get this one yet, did you?
No, I did not get that.
Well, you're one of the first people on the list. This is the Beacon.
Well, I certainly should be.
And you'll be getting this soon. It's only 20 pages, but it's a comic strip that Larry Blake and I did together.
Okay.
Not Larry Blake, I'm sorry.
Oh.
But Kurt Erickson and I did.
Oh,
We began back in the 1970s. I think it was 1978. Kurt wrote the script, and it kind of lay dormant for a long time. A couple of years ago, we decided to revive this, and Dan Burke got involved, and we rewrote it, revised it, and everything, and it's going to be out very shortly, people. But I just published this thing, so guess what? It's not gone out in the mail. And if you don't think if you're interested in seeing, well, I have this many copies left to mail out, all right? They're all full-size copies.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going out in the mail this weekend.
Wow.
So I've sent out like 3 copies already. 2 of the copies were because people ordered on eBay.
Oh, okay.
And Larned got a copy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
What was the price on that?
$5 postpaid.
$5 postpaid.
Yeah,
Yeah. Full-size comic.
eBay.
Huh?
If you order on eBay, or if you order with PayPal to stevekeeter@gmail.com, it's $5 postpaid. Otherwise, it's like $4.25.
Okay. Well, looking forward to getting that, and looking forward to our next episode. Once again, we're hoping to get Tony Lorenz to do a little interview with us, and I think we'll be able to do that. I'm not sure exactly when, but
and Steve Shipley as well. Steve Shipley's on the mend because he had some health problems, some serious health problems, but he's on the mend and he's doing better all the time. He's posting artwork every day, full color stuff
on Facebook. Yes.
Yeah. So looks like Steve's up on the up and up, and we'll be in touch with him when he's up to appear on the show. We're hoping to bring him in too. So.
Now, you notice that our schedule is kind of irregular, so the best thing to do is subscribe and then hit that bell notification so you'll get an email when our next video is up. And that's a good way to track us down.
There you go.
So that's going to be it for this episode, and we will see you next time.
All right. Thanks for stopping in, folks. Appreciate it.
welcome to another edition of Talking Small Press Comics with myself, Larned Justin, and Steve Keeter. Well, that's for darn sure. Wait a minute. You're not Steve Keeter. Why don't you just run along and let me take care of this? Thanks. Anyway, Steve and I both have commitments coming up in the near future, and we won't be able to do a video together for a few weeks. So I had gotten in the mail this book from Tom Fellrath, and this is Heroes Now, Patriot, which we reviewed in the last video. However, this is, if I can show you this, commentary edition, and this is an amazing book. What Tom has done is he has put notes in the margins of each page, and I'll show you this a little better in a close-up, but commentary on the story in the margin on each page. And he explains exactly what's going on, because if you remember in our video, in our review, and I hope you watched it, we noted that the story is complicated. You got to pay attention to it. There's a lot of flashbacks and things like that. Well, this edition explains all of that. Not only that, in back of the book, he has all the original pencils, the layouts, and once again, I'm going to show you this a little closer here in a second. But he has all the layouts and how everything was done, making for a really interesting book and a tremendous amount of work. And the reason that I wanted to get this on one of our videos right away is because the amount of work that Tom Fellrath has put into this, and he shouldn't have to wait forever to get it promoted, at least from our videos. So let me change this over to a view from the top down so you can see exactly what this looks like inside. Just as a quick note, this is $10 from Tom Fellrath. I will have it in his info in the description below the video. But let's take an in-depth look at this. So this is what I wanted to show you. Tom has written notes in the margins here and here for every page and for every panel. It describes not only what's going on, but some of the thinking behind his story. And also some of the reasons why Tony Lorenz drew the panels the way he did. Now if you take a look at page 7 here is the process for page 7. He gives us the script, Jeff's origin flashback. And on the next page, we have the original layout from Tony Lorenz with linear notes and the finished pencils for each panel. Then he moves on and shows us the inks and lettering for the finished page on this side. Again, notes in each margin. And here we have the process for the front cover, concept discussion. Here's a couple concepts from Larry Johnson's cover work. Cover A concept here, cover B concept here. And here's an additional cover rough from Larry Johnson. And then the final cover for Heroes Now, Patriot, the comic book. Again, once again, linear notes. And here's Tony Lorenz's first Patriot sketch in May of 2021. And as I mentioned, this is quite an effort. The work that Tom Fellrath put into this is just amazing. It's $10. I think it's well worth it. It just shows you what can go into a comic book. It's amazing. I hope you'll get a copy of the commentary edition. It's certainly worth it. Hey, how you doing? Once
Hallelujah.
again, it's Steve and Larned with Talking Small Press Comics. This is episode 16, and our guest right down below here is Tony Lorenz.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Tony,
Thanks for
great to
doing this,
see you.
Tony. We appreciate
Thanks for having me.
it.
I've really enjoyed your videos.
Oh,
Yeah,
great. Thanks.
you've done a great job. And
Well,
actually, a few books I've ordered because of your videos.
hey, now that's what it's all about, Tony. That's why we're doing
I
this.
appreciate it.
To help the small press cartoonists, sell a couple books, or at least
Yeah, we want to do what we can to promote small press,
Yeah.
but primarily we're in it, for the money. And so
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding, but
Wow. Yeah.
I'm in it for the
But-
money.
You're gonna have to tell me how that works.
Yeah, nobody knows. This is
It works kind of in reverse.
Let
the
me
more
know.
you spend, the more you lose.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's all from the heart. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more to be
absolutely.
gained than just something monetary. Well, there's zero to be gained monetary, and you got to do it because you love the medium.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, so
Absolutely.
All
you're
right,
obviously,
Steve, you started off. You can ask them a question, and then we'll go from there.
yeah, I did write down a bunch of questions, and I sent them to you in advance. But and I do want to apologize because a lot of like you did 25 issues of Futuro Tierra
Yes.
and Futuro Tierra, but you did 25 issues, and apparently almost all of those, my collection, I moved from recently, or not recently, but several years ago, from California back to Orlando, and a couple of boxes of stuff was lost. I mean, it might still be there in San Diego, but I'm missing a lot of your stuff.
Mhm.
And but I'm happy, for the few things I do have,
Right.
and we still got those great memories.
Yes. Actually, they may be at some point published in a collection. The
Just
future
to
of
show
Keeter.
people, just in case, here's
Yeah,
some of your
yeah.
work.
Yeah, it was a great series. It was an incredible series. But
Yeah.
we're going to start out with this.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently, have you actually been involved with small press since the 1980s? Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah. My first published work was 84.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Was that Savage World?
Savage World that I published myself. My
Mhm.
dad paid for it. 100 copies. I advertised it in the CBG, Comic
Yeah.
Buyer's Guide.
Really?
Really miss that
Yeah.
that newspaper. I got like 3 orders. I got 3. I printed 100 copies.
In there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a landslide
Yeah.
for me.
yeah. So from there, I think I did a short story for another fanzine. And then there, my big, which made me a Hall of Famer.
Right.
For Power Comics.
Yeah, I've
was
been watching the Power Comics videos and interviews
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, the John
It's a lot of
Tar.
fun.
I drew the first issue of the John Tar book, in which I was fired after the first issue, but it was a good experience, and apparently it sold like 25,000 copies. It was
Oh,
during
Wow. I mean, that is unbelievable.
That's
How on earth did you do that? Did you advertise? You must have.
I didn't publish it, so it was
Yeah.
it went through. Back then it was during the black and white comic phase
Oh, yeah.
craze.
The independent explosion.
Yeah, and I think there was tons of distributors, so they probably went through.
We lost you.
Yeah, it went through a bunch. I'm sure all the distributors, and yeah, there was a big. I didn't really know it sold that many copies until recently. And there was on the Power Comics, they had I guess a local newspaper wrote an article about the publisher.
Mm-hmm.
And in that article, it said,
That is amazing. What an accomplishment. And you were just getting
Did,
started. I mean, you were just
yeah,
getting revved up. You weren't even,
right. Yeah.
you know,
I didn't
where you
really know
wanted
what
to
I
be
was
yet.
doing.
did you go to art school at all, or were you self-taught, or what? Your perspective is so good.
Not really. I applied for the Kubert School.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through, it was, and I kind of thought like anybody applied, they'd get in there. But I went through a phone interview process,
Mm-hmm.
which I was interviewed by 2 of the teachers.
Uh-huh.
And the final interview was with Joe Kubert himself.
Oh,
cool.
And I was accepted.
uh-huh.
And then I read an article in a magazine that they get like, I don't know, 10,000 people apply and only like 50 get accepted. So I felt pretty good. But once I found out how much it was going to cost me, and
reality sets in.
Yeah, I couldn't relocate to New Jersey and
oh yeah,
and all that. So, but you know, other than that, yeah, I'm pretty much self-taught.
Well, me too. You know, whatever I do is self-taught. But yeah.
Really loved your new book that you sent me.
Thanks.
You got that one?
Inspector eBay.
The spiral bound one?
Inspector eBay, yeah.
Inspector eBay.
Oh, Inspector eBay. That's another one.
That was
that was a great zine from Larned. So how did you first discover small press? I mean, how did you first learn about this?
Through this CBG. I mean,
what?
All those ads and
Comics Buyer's Guide.
Oh, through the Comic Buyer's Guide. So it wasn't like through Tim Corrigan's small press explosion or anything. Huh?
No, I did read that after I got into it, but and honestly, I didn't really see any of the books before I published. I just saw ads.
Yeah.
And, some art with it, and I said, man, these guys are publishing. Why not? Why not me?
That's what I thought. I had no idea people were doing that. I always fiddled around with cartoons, but I had no idea people were publishing their own comics.
Yeah.
I found that out, and wow, I'm going to give it a try.
I find, though, it's a lot of work actually publishing. That's why I haven't published anything myself in many years.
Yeah.
But you're doing so much for other people.
Together, and I don't know how you do it, Steve. With the UFO. I just got your new issue. Great issue. I've already read it. It's fantastic.
I don't know how you do it.
You
Tony.
seem
You're
to
doing
be
like
very busy.
3, like when I talked to you at a MegaCon a few months ago, and you were working on 3 projects at once for 3 different publishers. And
right.
Still managed to do a page for me that ended up in Posit. What is this? Number 48. And I felt kind of guilty about asking you to do it. Something that I just started. It was only like a 1-pager, but I felt kind of guilty because you told me how busy you were.
Yeah.
And you did this thing where I'm opening the door, and I started to draw this thing.
Yeah.
But then I got busy, and then I saw you, and I saw, an opportunity. So I asked you to complete it for me, and you did. And you did this great picture of me with all of my characters. And
I hope you don't mind me. I changed the last panel because you did storytelling. I thought worked better.
But there I am in the corner. I'm responding to how you changed the last panel right there. Like, no, but seriously, no, it turned out great.
Cut out the swear words.
Now, if you're going to draw a digest size comic, it's going to be digest size. What size are your originals for a digest size comic?
You know what? Pretty much all mine are 11 by 17.
Really?
Right.
Except for one. Actually, one of the projects I'm working on is another Sherman Burnett, which is written by a story written by Guy Sparkman.
Oh, no kidding. Guy Sparkman.
So that will be, like 5.5 by 7, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a mini comic.
Okay.
Which
It's
is
going to be a mini rather than a digest. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I will say, because you mentioned Guy Sparkman, I do have this
yes,
Action Hero Adventures here.
I had a lot of fun drawing that.
Yeah, with this great story in there by Guy Sparkman, and about these otherworldly beings, the strange lizard men, and these other people who are rather peaceful, and how they adopt one of the lizard men as a little kid, but eventually his tendencies come out, his evil tendencies, and but I love your perspective on on the stuff you draw. Like, this is just a big room.
Yeah, your
but you
perspective
can see the
is right
perspective
on.
here, and it's perfect.
Yeah, I try. I try to make.
I try to avoid that at all costs. Perspective.
Yeah, the hard stuff, we kind of want to sidestep that.
Yeah.
There's got to be an easier way to do this, but Tony doesn't do that.
I guess I got a little George Perez in me that is
absolutely.
it just goes all out.
Here's an outer space scene here.
Oh, and your grays. How do you do your grays?
I do it in Clip Studio.
Clip Studio?
Yeah, it's kind of like Photoshop. I really like it a lot. It's it's very similar. You can do all the toning and text in it. So I basically have Photoshop. I scan the art in Photoshop, and then I open it Clip Studio and do all of my lettering and all all the because my lettering sucks. But
there we go.
But there's funny. You hear me?
Yeah.
I was having a little problem here. All of a sudden, Alexa popped up, and I couldn't hear you for a moment, but I think I got it solved. You guys can hear me fine, right? Okay.
Yeah. Is she trying to sell you something?
I don't know. She just popped up. I must have somehow said something that sounded. I'm not going to say the name again.
Say her name.
Because if I do, she'll pop up.
She's wondering what you want for dinner.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, we're back.
The ads will be all over your computer now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I know you've there is that Perez influence. I mean, it's there in the way you lay things out, in the way you can put a lot of characters into one panel, and not make it seem cluttered. The perspective and all that. I mean, obviously there's an influence. He's obviously a friend of yours and an influence of yours, and so, but who is there other people you would cite as influences besides George?
Yeah, everybody really. Whether I like their styles or not, I can always learn from everybody. Others I like. It's totally different style is Hergé, George Remy, the artist creator of Tintin.
Oh.
I like Byrne. Not so much of his newer stuff, but
John Byrne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so much. But I can learn from everybody. I really like Randy Ronaldo.
Randy's great.
Yeah,
Randy's great.
I follow his stuff, and Nick
Durga
has really come along as an artist. Because for a long time Max Inc. was doing all his art, and and then in his last, he's doing it himself now, and I'm pretty impressed with it. So, but there's, I can learn from everybody.
And the thing is, what I've noticed is you take these influences, and it doesn't look like anybody else. It's your own style.
No, I could spot your work anywhere. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely your work.
Yeah.
So you've adapted the best of, others and created your own thing, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
what kind of pens do you use? That's always interesting to me. What kind of tools people use?
I don't really do brush too much.
Yeah, I don't
A
either.
lot of pen work because I don't really have a whole lot of, I fill blacks in. I'll show you what pens I
Okay.
use.
I might learn something here.
Is that a real background behind you, or is that
I
some
think
sort
that's
of
his
painting?
yard.
But well, I'm in Florida, and I know that it's after dark, and he's in
Oh.
Florida as well, so that can't be real.
Aha. A fake
to be-
background.
Yeah, some sort of
He probably
poster
drew
or-
that.
Yeah, I use, this is what I use.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
have used those. They have the little thicker tip, so if you push on it, it flares out.
Yep,
Yeah.
I do use, I use the brush pen a lot.
Brush pen, yeah.
Yeah, I go through these a lot, and I probably order them like every other month,
I bet. With the amount, yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like them.
I always have had a difficult time getting line thickness. A lot of times my lines are just way too thin after I see it in print,
Yeah,
Can't seem to get over that.
Yeah, I learned that over the years too.
Yeah, you got to thicken.
Like, wow, it looks fine. Then when you shrink it down, it's like,
Yeah,
it kind of disappears.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Or
guys are kind of
flattens out,
losing me a
or-
little bit because I'm more of a writer and not as much of an artist. I'm okay as a penciler, but I never was much of an inker, and that's why I usually find somebody else to ink anything that I do. I was always using like flare pens, and
Yeah.
No,
Micron
never
pens
got
I
in-
use.
into the really good stuff, the really good tools. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been real fortunate to work with a lot of great supportive people like Steve and Jim Main and
Yeah, Jim.
Ken Anthony. I've been
Yeah.
working with him for many years. Guy, Roger Keel, there's, it can go on. Yeah, so it's,
And-
I feel pretty blessed that I'm in demand.
Yeah.
And
It's
because
amazing.
of that, because of that, I don't turn many things down. So that's
Wow.
Wind
can
up
be a
with
curse
3
sometimes.
projects at the same time, huh?
Yeah. You look at a lot of the pro that I followed, they're no longer relevant. They're no longer working in the business and stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of treat it that way. It's like some point, like no one's gonna want, yeah.
But Power Comics, they've kind of didn't they just vote you into their Hall of Fame or
Yes,
the
that was
Comics
pretty.
Hall of Fame?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that John Tar. I mean, I was really young as an artist, so it was real. I've come a long way since then. But
Absolutely.
for some reason, there's a big cult following for
Yeah.
that stuff.
And I've seen a lot of your early work, and your more recent work, and you and I did a lot of stuff together, like Cosmic Man.
Yeah. Oh, I had fun with that.
I just happen to have the first issue of this one here.
How old is that?
This is like year 2000, 2001.
2000.
It was a story I wrote, and Tony and I, we did a lot of. I was really flattered that Jim Main published most of these, the stories of Cosmic Man. But he's a guy from another planet with superpowers, but it's not Superman, it's somebody else. And here's Tony's art from about 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a little bit
I'd hate to show mine from 20 years ago. Little stick man.
A while later, Jim Main and I were Jim published this. And this is Tony didn't do the cover, but he did the interior, and it's utterly fantastic. This is
Scott McClung or
Scott McClung did that cover.
Yeah, he did the cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful cover. And,
yes, yeah.
And
he does that computer stuff.
Yeah, we started doing Cosmic Man, and the next thing you know, we were bringing in Jim Main's own characters, the Simeon, and and we were combining all our characters. We had like a whole Justice League thing going with all of Jim Main's characters and my characters. We had the Raven in there and Nightman, and we had this. I just wanted to mention a little more about Cosmic Man really quick here.
Go ahead.
Because here's Main Enterprises presents number 4. And there's Cosmic Man right there.
Uh-huh.
And this was it was part of a giant war with all these heroes and aliens invading the Earth. And Tony pulled out the stops on the artwork. I mean, the detail that you put in, Tony, is just amazing. And
I can't take all the credit. Jeff Austin's inks really made me shine. It's kind of like Joe Sennett when George was a young artist.
Yeah.
He really made
well, the combination. Jeff Austin was a perfect inker for you.
Yeah.
I'm still good. I still want to continue this because at the end of it, I left. They're very tiny here. The Titan is a giant superhero of mine, giant man sort of. And at the end of this story, he had been shrunk to microscopic size. So I want to do a sequel. It's been so long, and somehow I forgot about it and never did the next part of that.
Yeah.
Well, keep me in mind.
I hope you'll be on board, Tony. I'd like to write that. I want to do a solo adventure.
I would be honored. Anything you do, you're, like I said, you're one of my heroes.
Same to you.
When you have to do something like Army vehicles, tanks, that kind of thing, do you use reference material? Do you go out online and?
Oh yeah, that was that actually Tom Fellrath.
Yeah.
Story was probably one of my most challenging.
Really.
Challenging. It was a blast. I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually working on an 8-pager for him, another Patriot story, but
yeah,
it was real.
Tom Fellrath's a great writer.
Yeah, he is. Oh yeah, he is. And actually his production, he did the lettering, and I mean, he's fantastic.
Really?
But I'm working on just started doing some thumbnails. It's gonna be another challenge. He's pretty detailed. And so I'm working on that, and I've got the other, the Guy Sparkman story, and then we got a few more strips of the Enter the Center with Ken Anthony, the web comic that I've shown samples here and there.
Yeah.
Which I plan to publish all my web comics into one single book.
Ooh.
So I've got 4. This is the 4th web comic series that I've done with Ken. I think we started in like 2015. So we've done 4 storylines, 4 different. We're going to put it all in one book.
Oh, that'd be neat. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Another technical question I have, because these things help me.
Okay. All right.
Your pencils, when you have to erase after you ink, you have to erase a lot of the pencils, and I have smearing problems sometimes. And anything particular you use, or?
I use a kneaded eraser.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll have smearing problems. Not very often.
Yeah.
Not very often, and that's
And they don't. You can get them so that they don't show up hardly at all when you scan in.
Yeah. I try to. Sometimes I notice that I miss some, but I try to not go too heavy, where it's where it won't erase very well. But But
so keeping it light. I mean, you can use blue pencil too, but I could never.
I tried blue pencil years ago, and it was actually, it's funny you say that. I was on the blue pencil craze when I was doing my Future of Terror the last couple issues. Well, the last issue was like a huge, huge issue. I forget how many pages, but I had a lot of people ink chapters. Larry Blake, Steve Shipley, and, you know, and Anthony Gray. There's a few other people that I can't think off the top of my head. But Steve Shipley started inking, but it was he ended up sending them back. I had to finish them.
Oh, really?
Because I was using the blue pencil and it was too waxy, so he was having a hard time inking it.
Oh, I didn't think
so he says,
that.
you know, I tried, but you know, this is. So I think after that I quit using blue.
Yeah, I don't think you can get the detail with a blue pencil that you can with a lead pencil.
Yeah.
To me, I couldn't. Simple stuff, you know, real simple you can do, but and it makes it easy because it really doesn't show up. But
but I haven't used blue pencil in many years.
Yeah.
Well, if I could mention, I do have a copy of Futuro Tierra here. This one, it was a UFO publication. It was also a Pizzazz publication. You were in Pizzazz for a little while, and that's a co-op that Steve Shipley started.
Yeah, until I got kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get kicked out?
Oh, I completely forgot about it, but I was kind of reading through the old. There was a big war because I think I had a swear word or something.
A religious war, by golly.
Oh.
And man, it was going back and forth, and you were kind of, you know, defending me a little, and but there were some others that, you know, get him out of here, you know, throw him out.
You know, it was they didn't call it a Christian co-op, but it was kind of a Christian co-op, but it wasn't exactly a Christian co-op. I mean, but it had there was a lot of controversy among people who like to argue about things that are religious.
Right.
And what should be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed. There was a censorship clause with that group, and you had to be really careful about what you put in there.
My editing was not that great.
Yeah.
So I ended up I bowed out. You know, I thought it was better for the group. And
the group eventually disbanded. It disbanded. But, you know, it's funny how people who have a strong faith disagree with other people and nitpick over little teeny things like, you know.
I broke the rule, you know, and I didn't try to, but it just happened.
Yeah. That was kind of a fascinating history. That was an unusual co-op, that one.
Yeah, it was a fascinating read, you know, because I was going through my stuff and I'm like, oh, really? I forgot. I completely forgot all about it.
I forgot about it.
And then it went on for several issues. I mean, it was going.
there were a lot of arguments, you know.
Yeah,
people who should be getting along, but they're arguing with each other over, like I say, over nitpicky things, you know.
Yeah. So
anyway,
you know, it's on me, you know, and
I was chairman of that group for a little while, and you know, I tried to stay within the rules, and also
I think you were chairman at the time.
I was chairman, probably was at the time, and I you know, but also allow people to, you know, to speak up and to have their difference and try to get everybody to be civil with each other.
We are back. We had a little intermission there, but we're back.
All right.
And I forgot the last question I asked Tony. I know it was important. What was that?
It was, what are you most proud of amongst your comics and creative works?
There you go.
Well, like Futuro Tierra. I mean, this starting and finishing a 25-issue series. You know,
that's quite a run, man.
I primarily did everything, you know, but I did have help on the way. You know, Larry Blake inked an issue. I had help on one, but I'm pretty proud. It's not my best work, but you know, it's an accomplishment that I'm pretty proud of. And then I guess my new book with Tom. You know, it's just it was
Patriot.
Yes.
Show that cover again. You got that cover there, Larned?
Yeah.
Larry Johnson did the cover. Awesome cover.
Man, that was an outstanding book. That was incredible. I mean, that's
just
magnum
commentary
opus.
edition. Isn't that amazing? What he did with that?
oh man,
I mean, the work he put in.
commentary edition. Yes, it's very beautiful. I like the size. It's his layout. You know, he's pretty amazing.
That one's really
the
pretty much
pencils and all that. Just cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was like a masterpiece. I mean, it's really like a culmination of talents coming together, and you know, and Tom Fellrath was out of small press for like 20 years, out of small press. And you know what? Guess who talked him into getting back into small press?
Tony.
I sent him some messages, and you know, and he responded, and I'm so glad he's back. I'm so glad he's back, because look what you guys are doing. You're doing some amazing work, and as a collaborative team, you guys really pulled it off. You pulled out the stops on that one. Fantastic. The artwork, the story, just amazing.
Yeah, my only issue is right now is I got a lot of people that want to work with me, and everybody wants you know my total time. It's hard.
There's only so much you can do. You can't say yes
to
everyone.
Hate to ask this. I'm trying to figure out how to ask. Do you get a commission on sales of the books you draw, or do you get anything, or are you just
not most of the time? No.
Mm-hmm.
I do it for the fun. I do actually, since I've been with the Power Comics and all that. I've never done commissions before.
No.
Until like the last year, and I've done like about 6, 7 commissions, and
okay.
That people are actually, you know, want to buy a piece of original Tony Lorenz art. So
but there's no page rate or anything like that. You don't.
No.
I mean, it's so hard in small press.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, people in small press, they're you know, they're lucky they can afford the printing costs.
Doomed to lose money, but happy to be there.
You know, turn around and say, hey, you know, pay me X amount per page. They probably, well, I got this other artist over here that's
we'll talk about losing money on small press. I know all about it. I published a White Buffalo Gazette for over a year. And I got
that's the one you took over from Jeff Zanuck.
People sent me to put on. That was about it.
What is that all about?
The White Buffalo Gazette?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It was people contributed to it every month. Letters, stories, artwork, and I put it all together and published it every month. And it was started by a guy known as Max Traffic. And he started it. He quit doing it. Somebody else took it over. Eventually, I don't know if you know who Jeff Zanuck is.
Jeff Zanuck
took it over.
Yeah.
He did it all by hand. He printed everything in it, probably sitting at a picnic table in the park. And he did it for about a year, and he couldn't do it anymore, so then I took it over and did it.
But that was articles and reviews and all kinds of stuff, wasn't it?
Crazy artwork, crazy stories. It was really
almost like a co-op thing. Yeah.
Kind of, but not exactly.
And Jeff Zanuck was in one. He was in the UFO or the BPP. I don't remember.
I think I vaguely remember. Yeah.
Who was
that? Definitely. He was Jeff Zanuck was in
Jeff,
the UFO. Yeah. He was either in the UFO or the BPP.
Was he? Yeah.
It's complicated a little bit because the UFO, and then never mind. Jim Main and I started another zine called the BPP, based on the original.
I was a member of that too.
You were. You were, and it was great to have you on board. We did a lot of stuff there. That's where we did all the Cosmic Man stuff.
Yeah.
And I just found this.
Yeah.
This one here, this version of Futuro Tierra from a couple of years ago, I think. It's from the Script Graphics website. It says here 7 creative strips, 7 creative teams, rotating 7 days a week. What can you tell us about this?
It was Daryl Gaza started this, and actually he's starting to get back into actual publishing, but he did web comics. And this is one of the web comics that I'm going to put together into a regular size book. I didn't get a lot of sales on it. And what I didn't get a lot of great feedback on it because of the format, but
yeah, it's 4
I
panels.
thought it was an interesting format. I just thought it more like those, what was it, Tijuana Bible comics, kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
So what I did is it was this storyline was 52 strips and went once a week for a year. And it was my old future Sierra.
Once a week.
It was an original story.
Once a week for a year?
Once a week for a year. So I put it in a book, 52 pages, and I thought the format too, with shipping, I could fit it in an envelope.
Yeah.
It was cheaper for people, but I still didn't get many orders for $1.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So
that's small press. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I've done like 4. I'm about finished with the fourth web comic. There were the second one was my sniper character.
Sniper, I remember.
Yeah, it was a 52 strip for a year.
Wow.
And then the next one was Ken's character, Mr. White. And that went for, I think, 80 weeks.
Gee.
So, and then this one here, I'm going to be working on strip 53. So I think it's just got a few more strips and it'll be done.
You must work fairly fast. I would think.
Yeah, I'm fairly fast. And the thing is my job, which I work a lot. I work probably 60, 70 hours a week.
Oh my
Hard
gosh.
to believe you can do that and still do these comics. It's
the thing is with my job, I have some free time. So I get artwork done every day.
You sure you should be saying that?
Yeah, you can, if you want to edit that.
What about Ken Anthony? Ken Anthony II. You and he have been collaborators for a long time. How did you first meet Ken?
I actually, for 20 years, I published the George Perez magazine.
Pace Setter.
Yep. Started as the George Perez newsletter for 3 issues, which was basically the same thing. But then people were confused. Is this a newsletter or a magazine? So we changed the name, and I started over at number 1. And it was a fan magazine, kind of like the Kirby Collector.
Yeah. And it's a shame what happened to that. That was a magnificent magazine. And George Perez totally supported you
he was actually, he was kind of the uncredited editor for probably the first. I published 18 issues plus 3, about 21 issues over 20 years. So probably about half the run, he was the, I'd send it before I published it. He would look it over, make corrections here, and all that. And
he was almost like a co-editor.
Yes. Yeah. And his detail as art was as detailed as his editing. So
it was a great zine.
Yeah.
And what happened?
He once his health started going down, he kind of backed away from it, and it's.
So what, you got a notice from Marvel or DC?
No. I don't really know what happened. My printers, I went through Lulu, who printed my Pace Setter.
Yeah.
And I had nothing but good things to say about them. I think once COVID started, you couldn't get a hold of anybody anymore.
No.
Well, anyways, I got an email from them saying that I may have violated their copyright policies. No decal on. I never changed the way, and plus it was an issue that was published 5-6 years earlier. And they said that we may have, and then without any notice, they canceled my account. So all the books I had on, people could order was gone.
Oh man, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's so sad. Despite the fact that George Perez was behind you the whole time on this, he totally supported this.
Yeah, and then all it was is people writing articles about George, checklists.
The fan magazine.
Yeah, and artwork, rare, never seen artwork, and I gave credit to wherever, credit was due, So I'm thinking, I don't know for a fact, when DC went through their changeover, new owners and new, I think maybe the new people, because when I originally first put the first issue out, I went to Marvel in DC. I said, this is what I'm going to do. This was, George gave me the green light on it. I want to get the green light from you guys. And they said, yeah, go ahead, as long as you put copyrights and, all that.
Yeah.
Because basically it's promoting their stuff too.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Right. You're promoting them.
And I never
be behind it.
Yeah, and I made a little here and there money wise, but really nothing. It pretty much went into the next issue where I did make.
Yeah.
So I did it for the joy of it, and plus I really published it for me because I'm such a Perez fan. I love reading what people's articles and people sharing the artwork, and George has great fans, so so it was a lot of fun.
I remember the first time we ever met in person was at MegaCon in like 2004, 2006. I went there. I remember George Perez had a table set up not too far on. You said you should go over there, tell him you know me, and but he had such a long line of people waiting for autographs there, that I didn't. I walked by. I think I took a picture of him or something, but
He barely knew me then.
Really? He was that gracious. He was that gracious that you were a fan, and he was supportive of you. And
it was kind of blew me away when I first went to him with the idea about the magazine. First time I met him.
Wow.
You would think he would say, I don't know, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, this sounds great. I love it. And gave me the okay. And I was like, wow. And I thought I was going to publish one issue, and then that was it. And then I'm like, this is highlight of my life. And it's like,
oh man.
But
it was a great zine. It was a great zine.
And getting back to Ken Anthony, that's where I met him at MegaCon. I had a table, with my pace setter magazine, and I met him, and great guy, and he's one of the best people ever,
Wow.
And great attitude, and I have fun working with him. So,
have you ever been to Space in Columbus, Ohio?
No.
Convention?
No. Never been to Ohio.
No. Okay.
I've been all over the world, but
never been to Columbus, Ohio.
No.
Larned, have you been to Space?
Oh, many times. Many times.
Really?
Yeah. They still have it?
Yep. They're having it again this year. Now, last year they didn't. It was because of COVID. But this year it is supposed to be live, I think, in the summer sometime.
I may have to try and make it there sometime.
It's a great show. A lot of neat people. I met all kinds of people there. Of course, I met Tim Corrigan, and I became friends from going there.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's in May this year. I got
Larry
an
Blake is
invitation. Larry Blake is always there.
always there. It's great. It's a great show. A lot of neat people. I met all kinds of people there. Of course, I met Tim Corrigan, and I became friends from going there. And, of course, I met Tim Corrigan, and I became friends from going there. You know, it's great.
I'll definitely,
lots of neat people.
Definitely have to think. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great show. I haven't been in a number of years, but well, since Tim passed away, I kind of lost interest in doing that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he was he got like a Hall of Fame award or something like that at Space. I know that about Tim.
I'm still on video.
He's still on video. Don't talk right now. You have to wait. I got an invitation from my friend George A. Lane III. Do you know him?
Oh yeah, he's always on Facebook.
He's a great guy, and
Great
he
guy. I love his art too, man. He needs to draw more.
I
really curvy, really curvy style.
He goes to, I think he went to Space every year. I thought he was just a collector. I didn't know he did artwork.
He's a great artist.
Yeah, I know.
But he sent me a message and asked, he's going to Space. Space is in May this year.
Oh, May,
so
okay.
I just got a message from him a couple hours ago. And if I want to go along.
Really?
Yeah, maybe, we'll drive up there. And Gary Barker, Gary Barker, who does Garfield. He's a ghost artist on Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
And great he did a cover for the last issue of Mantra number 12.
Yeah,
the wraparound
awesome.
Color cover was by Gary Barker. He works as a teacher at the Ringling School of Art and Design.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it's possible that us three guys might drive up to Space.
Really?
We'll see what happens. I've never been to Space. I'd totally like to go.
Yeah.
We could probably stop and pick both of you guys up on the way.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome, right?
Matt Fazell is there every year, If
Matt.
You know Matt Fazell, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've met Matt a number of times. We worked together a few times way back in the 70s.
Yeah, he's always there. And it's now there's a lot of young people I don't know anymore. A bunch of new people too. But yeah, it's a great show.
Well, us old geezers can find our own corner of the convention. We can, it's the old geezers corner.
Yeah.
You're old.
Well, you just bring
here.
Maybe a shoulder bag with your comics in and walk around the tables and trade them with people. You don't have
I'd love to go. I've heard so much about Space for so many years, and I've never been able to go. Bob Corby, I've been trading a few comics with him just lately, and we'll see what happens. My financial situation isn't the best right now, so it might not happen, but I do appreciate the invitation.
Yeah.
But this isn't about us. This is about Tony.
Right.
Tony, we're so honored and pleased to have you on board. You're a great old pal. You're the best, and I'm glad that other people realize that now. You've paid your dues. You've worked hard, and a lot of people are giving you a lot of recognition.
Yeah,
overdue.
Yeah, I've had a lot of tough years, especially Larry Blake's reviews.
Oh, well, that's Larry Blake, right?
Yeah, no.
He has been brutally honest.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh.
He told me a new one every.
Did he?
Every month, yeah.
But you have proven yourself. You've proven yourself.
No, but I totally respect him. And actually the number 22 of Futura Terror that he inked, it's my favorite issue.
Really?
I mean, he did a fantastic job on it.
He's very.
It made my artwork look so.
I don't know. I don't think he's in very good health right now.
Right now, no. But I am in touch with him. Well, Larry's a guy who will say exactly what he thinks, whether you like it or not. He doesn't pull any punches. You don't have to agree with him. But, I dismiss if Larry, you listen to him. You go, okay, Larry just said this. Gee, darn, I hope it's not true. But if it is, whatever.
Yeah.
I still respect the guy, still love the guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's still a great guy. So.
He's a legend in small press.
Oh sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Did a lot of covers for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, his unique bold style he has. And the stippling.
You think we're going to wrap this up, Steve?
I think that's it. It was great talking with you, Tony.
We really appreciate you coming on with us. That was great. So.
I appreciate. Hey, I had a lot of fun.
Good.
I had a lot of fun.
All right.
Hey, just a quick reminder to subscribe and then hit the bell notifications so you never miss an episode. Our episodes may not be very regular, so if you hit that bell notification, it will tell you when we are on again with another episode. Also, if you would like your small press comic reviewed on the channel, unfortunately, you need to send Steve Keeter and myself a copy, and our addresses will be in the description below, along with Tony Loren's email address. We will see you next time.